I'm Justy. Welcome back to the Skeptheist, an ongoing series of videos in which I discuss concepts of science and philosophy. Who am I? I just told you. Now look, today's episode is called The Nature of Energy, and I want to talk about the use of that word. And I want to keep it positive, so I'm going to give some suggestions for other words to use apart from energy. So, the right way to use the word energy is when it relates to the ability to do work. So, if you're a physicist, you would use that definition and it would have a specific meaning to, to bodies that are moved by energy or have a level of potential energy. So, permit me to demonstrate. In the world of physics, you could take an object, I'll try and take an object that doesn't make too much noise, and it has an energy. It has potential energy. And if I drop it and it falls to the ground, as we're all very familiar with, that's the classic definition of energy, and it's the one that it's the canonical definition of energy. It's the ability of a system to do work, right? The other acceptable usage, of course, is a personal usage. So if I woke up this morning and I said, I feel like I have a lot of energy today, I don't see any problem with that sort of usage, because what that implies is that I have a great capacity to do work, whether that work is mental or physical or some combination of those two. But that's an acceptable usage as well, because it's the ability to do work. So that usage of the term is probably perfectly fine. If you feel you have energy, then you do. The other usage of the term might be more akin to the idea of having a feeling about something or a demeanour. So my energy was very focused today, or my energy, he had an angry energy, or he had a confused energy about him. Or to quote the great Caesar Milan, this dog has a calm energy and this one is a high energy dog. Okay, to sort of mix the categories a bit there. Again, I don't see a great problem with that. It does muddy the waters somewhat. You could use the word demeanour. You could also muddy the waters further and call it vibe. Although it has to be said that you're not saying vibration, you're just abbreviating it to the hippie vibe, and i.e. the hippie word vibe. And in most contexts, it's pretty obvious you're not talking about an actual vibration. Unfortunately, in some contexts, that can be the case. You might mislead someone into thinking that you thought that the person oscillated at a certain number of hertz. But it's muddy stuff. It's like the use of language. We don't want to limit it so that one word always means the same thing. Otherwise, we'd have no new words and no new uses of them. But I do think the co-opting of words for purposes that confuse their original purpose is not a good thing. Okay, so the final use of this term, which I think is probably the most despicable, is aligned directly with the most extravagant kind of claim. And the final category, which I think is the most despicable, is when the word energy is used to describe either a power that is unfalsifiable or is falsifiable but is not presented to be falsified. I suppose that the despicable usage of it splits into two parts. One is stuff that doesn't matter, like I'll send you my energy, right? And the other one is stuff that is a bit more serious, like claiming, to have the energy, the power to do something that is, clearly not possible, or it will never be borne out by experiments and actual verification. So it's hard to know what to suggest in those cases. I mean, in one case you could say, I'll be thinking of you, or I'll get off my butt and I'll actually get in the car or on my bike and come over and visit you and make you feel better by making you a cup of tea and telling you that it's all okay. All right? That would be a way of actually having some energy in that sort of situation. And of course, what can one say to those who would actually claim to be able to do something that's not possible? I mean, I can't really give any good advice there, can I? Other than to get a life and to have a good hard look at yourself in the room of mirrors, as my favourite radio host Roy HG might say. If I give you a bracelet and I know that it doesn't do any real good, but I know that you'll be convinced by the placebo effect, then I'm a bad person. Okay, I'll put my cards on the table and say it thusly. If you are convinced by that and you feel more energized and you go out and do more things, then you could possibly argue that the thing that I'd given you gave you some energy. Okay, but as we know, the placebo effect is responsible for many such things. So I might even just put that to one side for one moment. I've got something more to say about homeopathy, by the way, in a future episode when it comes to the placebo effect, an interesting kind of wrinkle to it. I haven't changed my mind, by the way, and nor should I be afraid to, by the way, just to remind you that I'm a true skeptic and that, you know, everything I know is provisional. But I digress. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's episode, The Nature of Energy, and I also hope you're enjoying the new format, which you know I'll clearly be able to do more of. I've done 2 this week, so I hope you're enjoying them, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.
I'm a Skeptheist, skeptical atheist. Skeptics have open mind, didn't you know? If you didn't know, maybe watch the show. It's called The Skeptheist. When you have an open mind, you can grow. If you say you're open minded, try to put some work behind a Skeptheist.